Shalom, shalom. Why solid speaking? Today I want to do this deep video. Hopefully everyone's in good spirits. All praises to the horizon. Peace and wisdom, K Flame. I was just about to ask that. Now I'm giving you all a chance to get in here. Like I said, today I want to do this deep video. Explaining how blacks were sold out of their nationality. I also want to explain the Atlanta Compromise of 1895. This is with Booker T. Washington. Peace and wisdom, J.E. Maintenance. Do I look divine? Just asking. Do I look too good to be true? Like, I'll just wait for you guys to get in here. I thirst. Now, subscribe to the channel. Why Solid Speaking. Hopefully everyone's well. Good afternoon, Joshua Hall. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Subscribe to the channel. Click the thumb. If you're getting a little aggravated, it's because you're a negative person. Laughing. These things should never disturb you. If it does, you're sick. That's the overall point. He think he all that. Would it be better if I think I wasn't nothing? Yeah? Anyway, my name's Wise Silas. I'm always in good spirits. People are always trying to tear me down. They say I have ego. How? I say nothing negative about anyone. I just say all great things about myself. Because I'm a really good person. I put a lot of work into it, so. It's a very deep thing, Salami. Now, subscribe to the channel. Visit the website, upscaledknowledge.org. And check out the lecture magazines, as well as the pricing plans. Now, let's begin. You know when you brush your teeth, I'm sorry, it takes me a little while. I'm sorry, it takes me a little while to get ready. Don't. You feel me? Be patient. Black people are so late, yet so rushy. It's ironic when you think of it. Black people are the most rushiest people you'll ever find. Meaning they don't have patience. If they got to wait, it's going to be a fight. And so you can go to any waiting room. If there's black people there, you're going to see them highly frustrated, aggravated. Talking about, I've been here all goddamn day. They just got there. 25 minutes ago or so. Just got there. They cursed out everybody in the place, even people that don't work there. But they thought they did. They was, oh, I'm sorry. They're so rushy, yet always late. It's a deep thing. Salam, shalom. Joshua Northern said, feel proud of you. Something else simple-minded. Now let's get to the deep lecture. Of course, if you want to give back, click the video title. My links are there. Now, this video will explain to African Americans how their nationality was sold out by other dark-skinned races of people. Now, I know we live in a time where black people everything. If your ID says African American, simple thing to grasp. Meaning if that's the nationality you've been placed as, this video is for you. I'm about to explain how we were sold out of our nationality by other black people, but not necessarily African American. Now, to put it in layman's terms, you see how in today's times black people say they're African, some say they're Native American. You see how black people don't know their nationality. We have like a clash on that. And so we don't understand how nationality works to even be clear on it. But I'm going to explain all of that. Let's fly sort it out. Like I said, I'm going to explain all of that. Now, that didn't happen by mistake. Meaning, the way you see modern day black people confused on their nationality as a whole race, that's not a mistake. That's something that started with the Atlanta Compromise. Well, it started before then. But you have the Atlanta Compromise of 1895 involving Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, and others. Now, the Atlanta Compromise, let's get into that. Bring some of y'all to speed. The Atlanta Compromise is a speech. It's not a speech, it's a compromise, but it started with a speech given by Booker T. Washington. And he gave a bunch of them. And the Atlanta Compromise has to do with him convincing or making an agreement, him making an agreement with white people that he's going to convince black people that they should take trade jobs, and you get it? Things not involving higher education. So you see how in the daytimes black people are quick to like, I'm gonna just get a quick trade. We not so much into like, I'm gonna be a biomathematician. But if you go back before modern times, so you get my point? You had like George Washington Carver, you had a lot of prestigious black people. In that we kind of follow those that came before us, and so you get my point? We was kind of on a path. Scientists, like I said, you got George Washington Carver, many people. If you go to 1800s, you'll mid to late 1800s, you'll notice like a prestige amongst black people. We speaking of the African Americans. Now, the Atlanta Compromise, you can look that up when you get a chance. Write it down or something. Like I said, that had to do with Booker T. Washington selling out black people to get, instead of us seeking higher education, his speeches had to do with convincing people to take trade jobs instead of higher education, not fight against inequality. Like, it go deep, but I'm just trying to keep it on a surface level. But the agreement had to do with, like, white people were gonna fund this. So you see how y'all take up trades in the daytime and you get like these little grants that pay for it. This is like the precursor to that. Now, the Atlanta Compromise and these speeches had to do with that. Booker T. Washington and others convincing black people, to not make such a big deal about inequality and focus on, getting a quick trade, getting a job so you can make some money, and don't focus on higher education so much. Now, he did this so he could have higher education, wealth, and fame. And so that's just an example. This still happens in today's time. Now, Booker T. Washington. Peace and wisdom, C.J. Johnson. I'm not sure what you're watching or what you're scarred by. Meaning, this video has nothing to do with whatever you're talking about. So please be quiet. Thank you. A lot of y'all are like that. YouTube scar you out. You be in them environments, bickering back and forth, and you get it? Y'all think anything y'all click on is that. Be quiet and listen. I'm not sure what's wrong with this generation. Now, Booker T. Washington, he visited London in 1910. That's important. Make sure you remember that. He visited London, Europe, in 1910. Like I said, he's the one that the Atlanta Compromise starts with. The Atlanta Compromise is basically a selling out of black people. The beginnings of it. You see how the rappers are the famous people of our times are used to push certain agendas on y'all? They want you to vote for this person or that person. They may get a rapper, paid a rapper, or whatever the case may be, and they'll tell y'all whatever, but they just doing their job to them in perspective. They're not really a politician, so they really don't care. This is like back in the day before that, 1895, Booker T. Washington is famous, well known amongst the blacks. So his voice mean a lot. So if he's telling blacks, man, forget about higher education, don't focus on inequalities, things like this, just go get a quick trade, get it, blah, 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 get a job, you get it? They're more likely to listen. And that's pretty much where we are in the daytime. Y'all ain't really in college, especially for higher education. Not a lot of us. And so, like I said, remember, he visited London in 1910. Now, during the late 1800s, you had a lot of fake North Americans, black Americans, pushing an agenda on black Americans that they're from Africa or anywhere else but America. So it's the important part. And this was done purposely. It was a white agenda. But of course they used dark-skinned people. Now before 1895, meaning in your 1800s and before that, all blacks were referred to as Negro Americans or Black Americans. Of course, Negro derives from the Spanish word negra, means black. So negra, Negro, black, they all mean the same thing. Of course, the Spanish came to the Americas first, Italy and Spain. They speak Spanish. This is their description of the people, negra. Of course, over time, everybody's not Spanish. So negra becomes nigger, Negro. But overall, before 1895, 1900s, moving forward, all black people were referred to as Black Americans or Negro Americans, which is to say the same thing. This is just a description. So overall, just Americans. Now, if you understand nationality, nationality have to do with the place or the country. You get my point? We're not speaking about blood groups and none of that. We're just speaking about nationalities and how that works and how the classifications go. You follow? So a Puerto Rican is Puerto Rican because they're from that country. Someone that's Irish, they're from Ireland. Nationality has to do with the country. Now, American or America, the only people that have that as their nationality is us. If you don't get lost into the description, that's the Negro, the Black, you get my point, the African. If you don't get lost into the front part and just the last part, so that's our nationality. And this was always known up until the 1900s. Meaning black people weren't lost on who they were until we were sold out of our nationalities. And I'm going to explain how. Now, of course, when your colonizers come, you have South America, North America. These are your two continents. The colonizers came to, the islands in the middle, Puerto Rico, DR, Haiti, but this is before their name. Now, South America is a continent and North America is a continent. Of course, in South America, you have 12 countries, and then you have the Amazon rainforest. Of course, the countries are being built out of the rainforest, so the rainforest is whatever's left of it. But in South America, which is just the continent, and then you have the countries. The countries, the people coming from these countries, this is their nationality. But over there you have countries. Now, when you're dealing with North America is the continent. America is the country. Now, all of our states are technically countries, but they're united. If you go to South America, Africa, these different continents, the countries on them are not necessarily all united. Maybe some of them, but not all of them. So this is what makes America special. All the countries on the continent are unified as one country. So North America is the continent. America, which is the continent, the North American continent, is the name of the country. The country being the 50 or 52 states. So I'm trying to get you to grasp, America, the country, is North America, that continent, and all those states. When you're dealing with the South American continent, well, you have different countries over there, Brazil, Argentina, you get my point? But I'm just trying to give you a little clarification so you can get the proper perspective. Now, Your colonizers are coming from your European continent. So of course, Italy, Spain, Portugal, they come to your Puerto Rican, DR, Haiti area. You have your indigenous people there. These are your uncivilized uncivilized people. They don't fall into any nationalities. They just live in the forest. The place haven't even been created into a city or a country for them to take a nationality. These are your uncivilized indigenous people that usually run around butt naked. You follow? Now your colonizers, they come to the Americas. Spain, Italy, they colonize, let's say, Puerto Rico. The indigenous people that are there, that are civilized and domesticated, they become labeled as Puerto Ricans. Meaning the place becomes Puerto Rico, that's what it's named, and the indigenous people there that are uncivilized, the ones that become civilized, domesticated, either mixed breeded in with the colonizers, are just able to be civilized. They're named after the place. It becomes their nationality. Of course, those from Spain and Italy, they're still from that country. That's still their nationality. You follow? An Italian is still technically a person from Italy. It doesn't matter where they are. Like that. And so the indigenous group that's already on the lands that's being colonized becomes the new race of people, so to say. And they're named after the place. So the same as in Cuba. Colonizers came to Cuba. The indigenous uncivilized people there are mixed breeded in with the colonizers, and those that are civilized, they are named after the place. The colonizers come in, their nationality is whatever it is, whatever country they come from. You follow? Same in DR, same in Haiti. The French came to Haiti. That's why they speak French. France came to Haiti. The indigenous people that are there, they are domesticated or mixed breeded in with the colonizing race. The place is developed, named Haiti. And the civilized indigenous people are named after the place that becomes their nationality. And that's their homelands or their country. And the indigenous people that are not civilized, of course, you can view them like they'll just still be indigenous people roaming around in the forest or whatever. So if you go to South America, you still have indigenous people in the rainforest. And then you have your Brazilians, your Argentinians, you get it? Now, when you're dealing with North America, this is America as a country. You had your dark-skinned indigenous people on this side as well. This is how the colonizers described them. Copper color, olive color, or black. This is where negra comes from. And so this is where negra comes from. Of course, this is what the Spaniards, the Italians that came, this is the description they gave of the indigenous people at the time. Basically black. Their word for black is negra. And so this is the description of the people, North and South. Now when the colonizers come to your North American lands, so it's the same. They mix breed in, are civilized, the dark-skinned indigenous people there, and then they name the place. The name of the place becomes the nationality of the indigenous people there that are civilized. There's only one race of people called Americans. That's the ones that got the African in the front. You get it? Meaning if you black and you like, what is our nationality? According to nationality itself, American. There's no other group of people that can say, I'm named after America. You get it? Mexicans from Mexico, nationalities tied in the country. So it's really not a confusing matter. But it becomes scrambled because of this agenda that I'm telling you about. Meaning we were sold out of our nationality. Meaning y'all was made to be dumb and confused, like I don't get what our nationality is, even though it's simple. A Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, that's why they are Puerto Rican. A Mexican from Mexico, that's why they from Mexico. That's why they Mexican. You get it? America is a country. What people is named after America? Meaning what people are Americans? Black people. That part. What are you gonna say? A Chinese person is American? No. They're Chinese. They would technically be from China. You follow? Now I explain how that happens. Like I said, the colonizers come, they domesticate the indigenous people there, and the ones that become civilized, mixed breeds, are not, for the most part, civilized. They're named after the place, meaning the place is truly theirs. The colonizers, of course, they developed it. They did all of that, so they have their powers, but overall, you get it? The people are named after the place, that's their place. Simple thing to grasp. Now, like I said, black people's nationality is American. There's no other people here that have that in their name. Now, the African being on the front, this is an agenda that started around 1895 when I was explaining Booker T. Washington and the Atlanta Compromise. Now, I'm going to go deep into this, but I'm just trying to help y'all grasp. I know a lot of y'all are deeply lost, so you get disturbed by truth a little bit, but all of this is simple. Meaning, if you want to know your nationality, it just has to do with the country. Not everybody in the country, but basically the originals. You have Native Americans too, but they're supposed to be like the indigenous that didn't get civilized. So they're like the Black Americans. The Black Americans being the indigenous that were civilized by the colonizers. Them, not so much. And so, they had their little spaces in their little areas that they lived in. It's the same in South America now. If you go close to the rainforest, you're going to see the indigenous people. They're not so different than the Brazilians and Argentinians, but you get it, they wild man. Meaning, they're like their ancestors before the colonizers came and civilized them out and developed the place. So the Native Americans are supposed to be like that, but you had the Trail of Tears Acts and a whole bunch of other things. This is when they was removed from their areas to the reservations we know of. But that was watered down, so you get it? You go to the reservations, you see all different looking kind of people like you do in any city. Where you like, damn, I went to the native reserve and shit was like a regular city. Some people was black, some people was white, some people look Chinese. What the hell? Like that, it's already watered down or, exploited out. But I guess, in the time you would have had your blacks that were civilized, your prestigious, your Black Americans, and then you would have had, the Native Americans, which would have just been us. We both coming from the same indigenous people that was on the land, but you get it? This is a yearly process. So let's say from 1600 to 1700, they colonized them, but then they started revolting. From 1700 to 1900, you get it? They colonized more indigenous people. We work better. We was more easy to work with, civilized, and they revolted. And so they still in 16, 1700s time in regards to where they are in society. Probably still running around with bow and arrows during the times of shotguns. But I'm just trying to give you a perspective. Black people, those that are known as African Americans, your nationality is just American, after the place, like every other people are named after their place. There's nobody else that can claim this place by law as nationality. We already been labeled it. And this is where the African comes into the front of it to cause confusion. Otherwise, we have certain rights, certain heritage that can't be denied because the government itself acknowledges that. You get it? We Americans and nobody else is. Otherwise, why'd they name us Americans and nobody else? Could have named anybody Americans if that's the case. But that's how nationality works when you're dealing with the indigenous people and those that were there that are civilized, which would be us. Named after the place. Same with Puerto Ricans, Haitians, any country you could think of. And so the African was thrown in the front because, you know, at some point we'll start to claim certain areas and things like that. And we wouldn't be able to be denied it by law. You got to remember they started making certain laws, but these laws sometimes bite them in the ass. But if they could dumb you down, then the law don't matter so much. So laws like that, there's laws being made, but sometimes these laws become a problem later for those, you know, who are in a certain status. And so look at it like that. When status and nationalities is being made, so what does it matter to name the people of the place after the place? But when you start to think later down the line, then they're going to claim certain things. You get it? You can't erase nationalities now. So just dumb them out, put them on another course. And this is where that African agenda, the Pan-African agenda came from. It's a white agenda, but it's to throw African Americans off to make them think they from here, there, and that we forget all about the place we at and how we the only people named after it. There's nothing to argue about. Meaning nobody can argue with us on that. It's a done issue. You got a lot of dark-skinned races. Cubans are dark-skinned. Jamaicans are dark-skinned. You get it? You got many different countries and nationalities of people that was did the same way we was did over here in America. So you got a bunch of dark-skinned races, but they're named after their countries. Like I said, a Jamaican, a Haitian, a Cuban, dark-skinned races. But their nationality is what it is, just like ours is what it is. Now, when you're dealing with the African agenda, during the 1800s, late 1800s, you had many fake African Americans or Black Americans pushing that African agenda to throw us off from knowing our nationality. Like I said, all the way up to 1900s, Black people always referred to themselves as Black Americans, Negro Americans, which means Black. And a lot of them just refer to themselves as Indian, because that's what the indigenous people, you get it? That's like a short, that's like an abbreviation of indigenous. A lot of times when the colonizers come to the land and they see the indigenous people, they say they go to Indians. It's like an abbreviation for indigenous. Of course, you do have India and Indians, but that Indian having to do with indigenous. So I'm just giving you that perspective. But the African agenda began to be pushed on You get it? The black African Americans are just the black Americans. That African part, that's the agenda. That was pushed on us during the late 1800s going into the 1900s. Meaning we were sold out by other dark-skinned races or nationalities. And these races or nationalities was used, you get it, to sell us out of our nationality. And of course, they receive whatever they receive for it. Now, let me give you an example. During the late 1800s, I'm sorry, you have Sylvester Williams. This is the beginnings of Pan-Africa, meaning he's like one of your main starters of it. Sylvester Williams, you can look it up. He was a Trinidadian, meaning he's not what we would call an African American technically. He's not from North America. He's not a black American. He's from Trinidad. He moved to England and started the African Association. England's in Europe. In 1903, he held the Pan-African Conference at Westminster Hall in London. A bunch of black people that y'all love was there. Meaning this African agenda thing was started in London, strategized in London, and then brought to America. That's the North, where the black Americans are, you get it? The people of that place. It was brought to them, but it was shaped and formed in England or London. Now that's Sylvester Williams. This is the beginnings of the Pan-African movement. Now, you got Marcus Garvey. Y'all love him too. But he a Jamaican from Jamaica. He lived in London from 1912 to 1914. London, Marcus Garvey. He returned to Jamaica after 1914 and started the UNIA. That's the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He moved to London permanently in 1935, but he was going back and forth in between. You get it? Them times. This is Marcus Garvey. Going to London, then coming back to the Americas with some African time. Now, you also have W.E.B. Du Bois. He's another one. He's a Haitian. He was all in London, all in Canada. And these are the people that are the beginnings of the African nationality thing. Now, of course, Africa's not no specific place. Nationality have to do with country. Africa's just a continent. So it's like I said, it's a sold us out thing. You get my point? Meaning these people sold us out of our nationality so they could receive higher education, wealth, and notoriety. This is why they're all going to London in a time where you would be like, black people was traveling like that back in 1895? Hell no. You ain't that dumb where you get it? Ain't nobody that stupid where you like, hold on, according to what I know of history, black nigga couldn't even ride on the goddamn bus barely. You get beat up for sitting in the front seat. You telling me you just flying to London, all these black motherfuckers? Y'all better wisen up. Like I said, that's Sylvester Williams, Marcus Garvey, even your good old boy Booker T. Washington. He sold us out with the Atlantic Compromise. Like I said, black people were referred to as black Americans. It was known that this was our place. We was a prestigious people. We was inventing a lot of things. It was more than likely we were going to go to college for higher education, science, things of this nature. And then Booker T. Washington came along with the Atlanta Compromise, where he speeched to black people all day, telling them how they should get how they should get trades. This is vocational education over higher education. Telling them like, go get a quick trade and just get a job so you can get money. You get it? A part of this Atlanta Compromise, he's telling black people not to focus on inequality so much. Like I said, we were chasing higher education. The place is ours, so you get my point. This is not a secret to no black person, so you get my point. We was on a certain path. Booker T. Washington and a lot of others was the beginnings of us being put on other paths. They sold us out for higher education, wealth, and notoriety for they self. You get it? Booker T. Washington worked out whatever he worked out with white politics, because he basically sold us out to white politics and telling the people not to worry about inequality, just get your paper. In that, you get my point. In the daytime, most black people got a trade. And we make whatever little quick bread we can. Most of us are not going to college for higher education. But in perspective, if you black, you know, like, yeah, but that ain't really how it's bumped to us. Shit, I was young. They told me to just go get your barber license right quick or something, and you get it? We pushed to take trades. And so the compromise had to do with white people were going to pay for those trades. You know how y'all get the little, what is it called? When you take up a trade and they have all the funding, pay for it for you. But that's the precursor to all of that. The brainwashing part came first, though, for us to be down with it. And so Booker T. Washington, like I said, he sold us out to white politics. The same way they do now, they just use the stars now. If they want y'all to think this way, they use the stars to push the agenda. Y'all love the stars, they popular. Y'all kind of do whatever they say, even if it's against y'all. And so Booker T. Washington was used, you get it? To bring black value down some. Then you had the other agenda, which was to make us lost of our nationality tying to the place. This is where all our glory is. We the only people named after the place. We have all the rights to the place. And that there's certain places we could designate just for ourselves here. There's places not being used here. There's certain laws that would not apply to us as the original people from here. But if we don't know that, and we're like, no, we from Africa. Like that. And so that's why white people came up with that African agenda. But they use like Trinidadians, Jamaicans. It's like I said, Sylvester Williams, he's a Trinidadian. Marcus Garvey, Jamaican. W.E. Du Bois, Haitian. To they self, they not the same as a black American. In that, it's easy for them to sell us out. Say, man, go telling people they from Africa, blah, 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 blah. More than likely, they ain't going to look at it like how a black person would. They going to be like, why? If we Americans, why do you want me to tell them that lie? So like I said, they use people, nationalities that look black, but different. Now, like I said, all of that was done so that black people wouldn't know their nationality. So you have all that Pan-African, African-American, meaning African-American is something that started being pushed in the 1900s. I'm not saying it caught all the way, but it's still being pushed now. But this is a 100-year agenda that started back, early 1900s with Marcus Garvey and a lot of people that y'all view as black. But because we don't understand nationality, and how it has to do with country. We view these people as blacks that have influenced us about this African thing. Them having sold us out, though, for fame, higher education, and wealth for themselves. Notoriety for themselves, but we still, stuck. This same agenda was used with religion on black people. Meaning you have, what is his name? Wallace D. Fard? Wallace D. Muhammad, or Wallace Fard Muhammad. This is the beginnings of the NOI, Nation of Islam. This white boy, Wallace Fard Muhammad, this white boy, he comes along, teaches Elijah Muhammad Islam, but a white hate version of it. Now, before this time, white people don't know nothing about no Islam. We ain't a religious people. Niggas is still doing roots and spells in the backyard. Black people still talk about, like, you feel me? The ancestors and my peoples to put a spell on you. They ain't in the religion during the late 1800s, early 1900s. We ain't jacking none of that. We black Americans. To some of us, man, we just Indians, the indigenous people that was here. And so we still on that time during them times. We don't know nothing about no Islam. We don't know nothing about no religion. You see my point? Christianity, none of that. All that was pushed on us. But it was influenced on us by our own, who sold out to certain white agendas. You know, to dumb us down. So you have Wallace D. Fard. He brainwashes Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad brainwashes a whole bunch of other black people. Wallace D. Fard disappears off the face of the earth. Meaning nobody don't know his true nationality. Is he a white man, an Arab? He definitely ain't a light-skinned black man, but they put that up there. Not sure why. But if you look at him, you can clearly see he's white. And he's definitely a sellout. Dude moved like a CIA agent. When he came along, brainwashed Elijah Muhammad and just disappeared. Never to be seen again by anybody in life. You get it? Real life movie shit where you like, damn, what the fuck? Where'd he come from? The CIA. And this is what Malcolm was assassinated about. He had went over to Mecca, I believe, seen real Islam and kind of started to notice, hold on, something's wrong. The Islam we got ain't Islam. The Islam we got is just hate white people speech stuff. You follow? Then he started learning truths about Elijah Muhammad. This being one of those truths, which would be Elijah Muhammad sold his people out to this Wallace D. Fard dude. Meaning Wallace D. Fard wanted him to push Islam on black people. For wealth and notoriety, so I guess he did it. Meaning Elijah Muhammad. He had a lot of notoriety, a lot of wealth. But this is after this Wallace D. Fard dude. Like that. He's selling the people out for wealth and fame for themselves. They selling the people out in the dum-dum land, though. Make them believe in Islam and all this other stuff, and white people got their foot on their neck, and you get it? Like that. Now everybody after Elijah Muhammad, so you get my point? They just the affected. They think it's real. Say I honor Elijah Muhammad. He would never do that to us. Well, he rich, y'all ain't. Just like Farrakhan rich and y'all broke as fuck. What's so hard to grasp, nigga? Shit ain't even that hard to grasp. Fuck, shouldn't even have to do this video. It should be common sense if you ask me. But it ain't, so. Proof's in the pudding. point I'm making is Malcolm was assassinated for these kind of things, meaning he started to realize, like, hold on, Elijah Muhammad ain't right. I ain't even sure if blood black. You get it? And so, he was close. They whacked him off, but under the orders of Elijah Muhammad, of course. And so, that African thing is just to throw y'all off from understanding that those who have the nationality African American, it's just American. The African part, that's a part of an agenda to throw us off. Africa's not a continent. Africa was being colonized during the same time as America by white people. Of course, you had Arabs that was colonizing North America before whites got there. But whites started off your Europeans, Italy, Spain, Portugal, France. They start colonizing Africa maybe 10 years before the Americas. So it was happening simultaneously at the same time. They was not bringing black American indigenous people from America to Africa. Africa was not a developed country. What are you gonna do with them? You get my point? They're bringing all of this back to Europe, back to their country. This is where stores are. Europe is already a developed continent. The countries they already developed, they have stores, all of this. So they're going to Africa, they're going to the Americas, they're exploiting it for resources and people. This is during a time where people were sold, meaning you can buy a person like a dog and have the person like your pet. It's just real life. And so people were domesticated and spliced all kind of ways. If selling people is the style, so you want to make sure you got a lot of different kinds. A light-skinned one with green eyes, maybe a little dark-skinned one with blonde hair. However freaky you could get it. And so that's why you have a lot of, like over in Australia, the Aboriginals over there, they're black with blue eyes and blonde hair. But if you understand colonization, domesticating people, indigenous people, and then selling them, then it makes sense. But like I said, the colonizers would go to the African continent and the American continent during the same times and bring the slaves back to Europe. You follow? And so there's no African slaves being brought to America. That's stupid. There's already black people here. Why would they do that? A lot of people get confused. They don't understand Europe or Italy and Spain was a developed country. So the same way we live in a developed country now, you have black people, white people. So when you see black people coming on the boats with the white colonizers, you got to grasp they coming from a developed country. They have on clothes and shit. They're from that country. You have dark-skinned Italians. You have dark-skinned Portuguese people. You follow? It's a developed nation. It's just like now, if they say, man, anybody want to go get themselves some land over in the Amazon rainforest that live in America can go. Some of us black, some of us white, some of us Chinese. You follow? To those if the people in the Amazon is dark skinned, they're going to be looking at us like them. Like that. It's going to be confusing to them because they don't understand civilization. But basically like that. Y'all get lost like that and say, no, that's the Moors. And a Moor just mean a moron. Like, Europe a racist place, so don't get it twisted. You have black people there, are dark-skinned Europeans, dark-skinned Italians, dark-skinned Portuguese people. But wherever dark-skinned people are, you get it? It's just like over in DR. Puerto Ricans call Dominicans negra. Black. And they're a little racist with them too. But like I said, you have that in every place. So when I say a Moor is a moron, that's according to, the white people they come the white people they coming with. But overall, if your ID has you labeled as African American before you did any weird changes. It's just American. You don't have to get lost in the whole African agenda. That's something that's done on purpose. Like I said, Africa's not a country. That's never going to be a nationality. America is a country. You get it? Meaning America is all the states on the North American continent. Like I said, when you're dealing with the states, they're basically countries, but they're all unified. You go to South America or any other continent, the countries on it are not unified. They're states as well. So in South America, you have 12 countries or 12 sovereign states. The country and the state is the same thing. In our case, the whole continent is viewed as a country because all the countries are unified. This is our states. So when you hear America, that's speaking of North America as a country. South America, whatever country they're speaking of, they just say the country. Brazil, Argentina, you get it? When you hear America, that's just North America. The President of United States or America is just talking about America. Not Puerto Rico, not Brazil. You follow? Just North America. Meaning North America as a country is America. When you hear America, you don't ever have to think of South America. That's just a continent. Whatever country they're speaking of, that's what you would hear. When you hear America, you're hearing basically the country, which would be North America. I'm saying that so you could grasp. You're an African American. African ain't nothing. That's just a continent. You're an American. There's no other people on the face of the earth that's an American. So if you're like, what's our nationality? American. We're the only people that belong on this country, so to say. I'm not saying others isn't welcome, but I'm just saying in perspective. If they said everybody who is not an American by nationality leave, that means Chinese people would have to go back to China. Puerto Ricans would have to go back to Puerto Rico. Those from DR would have to go to DR. Those from Haiti back to Haiti. Cuba, so on and so forth. Everybody would have to go back to their place. Those from African countries would have to go back. Those from Jamaica, you'd have to go back to Jamaica. You know who'd only be left here? African Americans. If you're not an American, you have to leave. White people would have to go back to their European countries. The only people left would be Black Americans and Native Americans. Do you follow? The Native Americans being like our ancestors in perspective. But like I said, they should all water down too, so we'd have to like get some of the lighties out of there. You know, like the brownies, get the lighties out of there. Like my shit toasted dark. That's too light. I'm just playing a little racism with you guys. Relax. But that would be the reality. Meaning, when you're dealing with nationalities, everybody would have to return to their country, which is the same as their nationality. We're the only people named after America. So if you're a Haitian, you're like, yeah, I'm black. No, you're from Haiti. I'm Jamaican. No. You're from Jamaica. You're from the indigenous people that were there. Colonizers came. Those of y'all that were civilized and domesticated became the Jamaicans of the place that they call Jamaica. That's your homelands. That's your nationality. The white people there, that's not their nationality. They colonized it. So they're there. They developed it into the place and named it and named y'all. But do you get it? Their nationality is from wherever they came from. So you do the same in Jamaica. Whoever ain't from Jamaica, leave. That means you got Chinese people there, black people, North Americans there. We don't have to leave. You follow? Same in Cuba. Whoever ain't an black American, I'm sorry, whoever ain't a Cuban, you gotta go. That means black Americans there would have to leave and go back to North America, so on and so forth. You do the same in North America, which is the 52 or 50 states, I forget which one. So it's the same reality. Everybody would be leaving except for black Americans. This is those that have African American as their nationality. You follow? So even people from America that move to Europe, their nationality is still African American. But you got black people in Europe, you get it? Their line has been there since before America was even established. And they don't view themselves as black or anything that we do. You get it? They tell you like, nigga, I'm Greek. You could be black as fuck. Like, I'm Greek. And you like, what, nigga? How the fuck is you Greek? Because, like Anthony Joshua, blood from London, Idris Elba and them, they like, I'm from London. My people started here all the way back in 1315. Nigga, America wasn't even named yet. Like that. If you're not an African American, and of course you could remove the African part, that's just the agenda that throw us off. So now you know your nationality, you know your homelands. Now I know it's not that exciting because you like, damn, I thought the homelands was going to be somewhere to go. Well, you see when you let yourself get dumbed down. Get your hopes up. You already had what you were seeking for. You say, damn, a lot of y'all get mad like that. You like, damn, so we ain't going nowhere? There ain't nowhere to go, grasshopper. Ain't nowhere to go, grasshopper. We might just have to start to kick some people out. Because we already home. And so, like I said, I'm just playing with that part. There's a lot of lands in North America that's not being used. Black people do have rights to them, but we don't come together and know nothing. Even though it's already documented, we don't have to. And so a lot could be done, but y'all lost into agendas. Meaning if you are African American, just an American, black American, there's so much that we can do, but y'all lost in so many different agendas, honoring people that sold y'all out centuries ago. And that's the real truth of the matter. I know Marcus Garvey, James Sylvester, I'm sorry, what is his name? Henry Sylvester, what the fuck is his name? I'm sorry. Got blood name, that's why I had to write it down. Sylvester Williams, Marcus Garvey, Booker T. Washington, all these people that have something to do with this African thing. They was all aware of what they was doing, but they not technically North Americans. You get it? They Jamaicans, Haitians, Trinidadians. And so they sold us out so they can go to London and shit like that and get higher education, and you get it? A lot of this Pan-African thing was formed in London and then brought to us. Bring that shit to Jamaica, Trinidad, blood. Don't bring that over here. You follow, it's kind of like that. Like, hold on, blood. Bring that shit back to your Trinidadian people. Why are you bringing that shit to the north side? That part. Again, before 1900s, before they started doing all that weird shit. Marcus Garvey and them. We already viewed ourselves as what I just told y'all. That wasn't a dispute against black people. Even when I was a young kid, 8 years old, 9 years old. Every black person I know used to say, I got Indian in my family. To basically say, man, we from here. The Indians that was here, blood, them my peoples. So every black people that was in America before 1900s, like I said, all the way up until I was 8. According to my understanding, my grandma used to always say that. We Indian. If you my age and you in my family, you can't lie and be like, nah, grandma never said that. That's all we used to hear. We Indian. Cherokee. Every black person say they Cherokee blood. Period. Just like every Mexican be like, we Blackfoot. You gotta just grasp how this works. Then slowly over the course of the 1900s, you got black people going with this African thing. And it catching on more and more as time goes. And so here we are now, they still, brainwashing y'all out. And so everybody that goes with it is not privy to know. You get it? Y'all gullible. But you'll know who knows when you like bring these certain things to their attention. Blow it off and act like they stupid. These is those that already know they sold y'all out. You get my point? And that's just the realities of it. There you go, Dodge J. We just plain old Americans. Homeland's America. There's a lot of people here, but we've been a little ignorant on things. We got a lot of people working against our brain. Pan-Africans. All these other black religious groups. You got a lot of these agendas set up before y'all time. So let's say you a Hebrew Israelite. You in an NOI. You a Pan-African movement person. I mean, these agendas was set up before y'all was even born. You get my point? Meaning, you were part of the sellout party, but that selling out shit started in 1895, like before you was born. And that's just the real realities of it. Everybody got a little pride. So you figure the Pan-African movement, you get my point? You think Dr. Umar Johnson, you think he could really hear this and be like, damn, you right. He could, but you get my point? Do you think that's a reality? Like that. Y'all already on y'all. Y'all already living the lie. You follow? Y'all living the lie. Y'all already came into the lie and didn't do no research. Meaning whoever's a NOI member, you didn't do no research on the NOI before you joined the Nation of Islam. You joined the Nation of Islam, then you started to become programmed under the doctrination of the Nation of Islam. But there was never no moment where you said, let me see where this started. Who started it? You just assume Elijah Muhammad, whatever. You a Pan-African follower. You joined the Pan-African movement because you like Brother Polite, Young Pharaoh, something like that. And you joined it, you got indoctrinated, fed the programming, but you never looked in who did Pan-Africanism start with. You need to even Google it to say like, who did Pan-Africanism start with? Sylvester Williams and these names would have popped up. And you would have noticed like, damn, why they always going to London? Why they was having conferences in London? Pan-African conferences and shit like that in London. Because that's where all this was set up at. In Europe. And then they brought it back over here. It's a white agenda. Like I said, they sold us out so they can get higher education, wealth, and notoriety. All of that they got. And their job was just to dumb us down. You're an African. Go get a quick trade. Don't worry about higher education. Just go get a trade. Don't worry about equality. This the Booker T. Washington and the Atlanta Compromise thing. Sylvester Henry, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and all of them. That's your Pan-African movement people. And they were fully aware of what they were doing. Like I said, they wasn't North American blacks. They was Trinidadian, Jamaican, this thing, that thing. So to them, selling one of us out ain't the same thing. It's like if I tell a black person, yo, sell out that Jamaican. He might do it. Because he don't view the Jamaican as the same as him. We do in the daytimes, like I said, for the most part, we was all made the same. Meaning if you were Jamaican, a Cuban, a DR, we all just come from the indigenous people that was on the land. But different races of colonizers came to these places. So the French came to Haiti. That's why they speak French. Spain and Italy came to Puerto Rico. That's why they Spanish and speak Spanish. You follow? When you're dealing with North America, you're dealing with England. That's why black people like little Englishmen, little brown Englishmen. We speak English. We dress like people from England. English people colonized our areas, meaning the North Americans. The people from the north, far north, and your people from England. And so you can tell who colonized who just by what they speak. You get my point? But the point I'm making is we, for the most part, are all the same. Meaning if you're from the Americas, we all just come from the indigenous people that was on these lands before all the different colonizers came. In regards to nationality, so the places are developed. We're the civilized faction that's named after the place. So according to nationalities, we're not the same. But that's just the made up thing. Meaning whoever made up the name of the place made up the names of the nationalities. So overall, if you like a Cuban, a Mexican, we just the many different tribes of indigenous people that were here before the colonizers came. And now we just different nationalities. But we wasn't the same tribe anyway, so it wouldn't matter. But you get my point? Other dark races or nationalities are coming to influence us in any old way. So in the daytimes, y'all being influenced by black people. But if you go through it with a toothpick, you'll see like, man, a lot of these people ain't even black. Now that I understand nationality and how it's tied in the country, and we Americans, all these people in this Pan-African movement ain't actually black. Some of these people is West Indian and this thing and that thing. Like that. Meaning the people that's starting with, they not necessarily black Americans. By law, they would be like a Trinidadian or a Jamaican. That part. And so we could, black people don't understand, like I said, we got a lot of rights. We got a lot of things we could do. We could sue a lot of different nations. You get my point? That's a crime. I don't think y'all get that. That's crimes against men, meaning this shit go deep. Y'all don't really get it. We are owed something. It ain't even about the lands. It's about all that extra shit. Those things being crimes in today's time. Maybe not then when it was done. That's a crime now. If the U.S. send a U.S. spy over to another country, and the spy looks like the people of the country, and he's doing something in any way to bring them down, and this is a part of, you get it, his mission. If he is caught, that is a crime. That is not a matter of, oh, well, whatever. I'm telling y'all like that. We have had CIA crimes, government crimes against us by other nations. Like, and y'all hooting and hollering about a whole bunch of shit that wouldn't even matter. Our wealth right there. These crimes can't be denied. Nationality can't be denied. Who gonna say, no, they not Americans? Who else is? Who? Nobody's named that, just us. No African could claim it, nobody but whoever got African American on AID. That part. Being as though we not unified in understanding that, We get no rights that we should have. I mean, we were the president. The mayor of New York is black, and most of the mayors is black in all other states. You get it? They would be like the president of those countries, because the states is like countries. So I don't want you to get lost. Like, you know how in those African groups they make us feel so low, like we just got the white man foot on our neck? We get the first fair treatment over every other race that's here. I don't want nobody. You get my point? So if you black, you could take pride in that. The Puerto Rican, any other race, they don't get more. You get my point? We get treated like this is our place. If we get to complain and niggas do whatever we say. Like I said, if you any other nationality, did y'all have a president over this place? Hell no, you didn't. Chinese people had a president of America? Mexican, you? Hell no. Only black people could say like, yeah, we was president. And we always the mayor over the states. That's been... that been how that go. And we the rappers, we got the biggest chains, and we have the most money. We fuck it up the most because, you know, they give us a lot. See, you wasn't raised up as a black person like that. You was raised up like you were bum, you were lesser, you was a slave. No, the fuck we wasn't, blood. We the niggas that had all the style and swag. What are you talking about? That part. Y'all forgetting about the difference of the South and the North. The niggas been in Harlem regular. Again, niggas been in Harlem owning shit. Wearing dope fucking clothes. In the North. That part. Y'all was robbed of y'all history and dumbed the fuck down. So in the daytime, a young black man like, you know, yeah, we oppressed. They don't think like, well, shit, if we oppressed, every other nationality is worse off than us because we was the president and shit. And we first choice at rap and sports. Basically anything that you can get rich off, we first choice. What you gonna say? No, we not. If you talking acting, rapping, anything that got to do with entertainment and getting rich, we first choice. We flood that shit. If you talking about sports, basketball, football, baseball, it's mostly blacks. Like that. But we raised up under another mindset. In that, we complain from the lesser perspective. Like, we ain't get this and that. I'm saying we supposed to be begging and complaining from authority. Like, hold on. You can't do that. You get it? We all out here begging and rioting. We ain't supposed to be begging like that, my nigga. We the people of the place. If we get did wrong, we supposed to... We don't have to beg like that. All we gotta do is be together, and you get my point? Go to the white man. He'll straighten all that shit out. Meaning a lot of y'all lost on that white man foot on the neck. Black people and white people go together, man. We been working together. That's what the checkered board shit and the Mason shit mean. That part. We creative. They do the money. And that's that. Every other race noticed that, but nobody want to say nothing, bro. You get my point? And so, it's like I said, Englishmen came to the north. They colonized the area. They named it America. You get my point? We like brown Englishmen in perspective. So we kind of got a certain favoritism. We don't use it. And we don't understand it. I'm not saying we ain't get oppressed over time. But this all got to do with our ignorance. Like I said, you got pictures of black people in the 1800s looking prestigious. Then we look all dusty and bummy during the 40s, 50s, and 60s. What happened? That part lies. telling niggas to take trade jobs and ignore higher education. That's what happened. Go on, move to the projects, nigga. Shit like that. You know they gave us 40 acres in a mule. A lot of y'all be like, I'm waiting on my 40 acres in a mule. They gave us 40 acres back in the 1800s. A lot of black people abandoned it and came to the cities to work and shit. I forgot what that is called. It's something the 40 Acres Act. But it happened already. Meaning a lot of our ancestors gave that shit up. Some of y'all still got it now. You like, my ancestors been leaving the land since before my grandmama was born. That's from that. You get it? But you probably just under the pretense like, nah, my peoples bought this land a long time ago and we just pass it down. And so, if you black overall, we need to grasp that we're Americans. America is a country. We the people of it. America being North America and the States. And we need to start coming to agreements on those kind of truths. So we can start getting things that we're supposed to in regards to this place. And so hopefully y'all grasp, if anyone has a question, or if anyone wants to give back, click the title of the video. My links are there. Thank you, Tracy Jackson. You can do that, Tracy Jackson. Condense it into smaller videos and share it on TikTok and all that other stuff. I don't be dealing with those too much. All out said Obama is African. Okay, but an African was over America. His mama white. Right? Who is Obama? But I'm just trying to give y'all a perspective. Ain't nobody digging through nobody's shit like that. You look at Obama, he look like Silas, blood's black. You get it? He black American. He here already. Look, get it? Y'all not mistaken a Haitian. You get it? We not dumb. I mean, when y'all see a Jamaican, you know the difference between a Jamaican and a fucking nigga from the block. You get my point? Got a lot of dark races. We all look similar, but not similar to the point where we can't tell the difference. So like that. Obama's black. Blood. Smoking on that bud. You feel me? The point is, we're Americans. You don't have to be lost. You just tell your kid, man, we Americans. We named after the country. That's how nationalities work. That's why every nationality ties to a country. Puerto Rican is a Puerto Rican because they come from that country. Even if they wasn't born there, but you get it? They look like those people. They're from there. Their nationality ties back there. And all nationalities tied to countries. We're the only people named after this country. That's your nationality. By the standards of nationality in today's times. Of course, you're going to have those that try to confuse this into blood types and all that weird shit. That's just to throw you off. Blood types ain't got nothing to do with nationalities. Nationalities got to do with colonizing places, naming places, and naming the people after that place. Blood types got to do with science. Ain't nobody walking around, you get it, pricking blood out this small effer. So if somebody trying to throw you off with that kind of talk, it's already crystal clear we Americans. If a nigga want to overtalk that point, well, like I said, we were sold out a long time ago, so y'all still getting sold out on these things now. Polite part of the Pan-African community. He sold y'all out. Meaning he scammed a lot of y'all according to y'all, and now he in jail for rape. And Dr. Malachi York precede him, and he the same way. And Eligio's a Yorkie, and he end up in jail for rape and shit like that too. Or running a cult. You get my point? And this shit don't ever stop. Like, some of y'all lost where you like, I wonder if this is true. Blood. What are you talking about? Y'all are dumb as fuck, huh? Y'all are getting sold the fuck out. I don't see how y'all don't know that. And shit happened too much. How many times? Like, y'all are getting told false information on purpose. Shit, simplest thing to grasp. Was anything you told thus far accurate? Y'all was given a diet, health regimen, all these different informations. Did any of it turn out to be accurate? Not because you want to say yeah, but in life results, was it accurate? Or you still moseying around fucked up, and so ever so often you gotta come to my channel to get some jewels on, the self. And cleanse out the mind, the emotional state, things like this. That part, y'all being exploited. Dumbed out. Dumbed down. And so, dumb is tied into pride. The dumber you get, the more proud you get. And so hopefully y'all grasp peace and wisdom. If any of you guys want to, you can visit my website and get the magazine I have, or the lecture book, the land and resource one. Meaning if you're a black person, Black American, African American, make sure you get that. When you get a chance, read through it. Pass it down to your kids. Make sure you explain to them, we Americans. You don't never got to get lost in where you don't know where your homelands is and your nationality. Because this happens generation after generation. You get it? Meaning y'all kids gonna be growing up. Those of y'all that's like in y'all 20s, y'all kids gonna be growing up, and the same thing gonna happen to them. They're gonna get caught up in all this Pan-African stuff. It's a generation to generation thing. It was around in my mother's times, before her times. Every generation, they scoop up the young. By the time y'all get old, if y'all ain't exploiting it and benefiting off it yourselves, y'all kind of move on. And then a young just get exploited out, and you get it? It's getting pathetic at this point. Because it's not like any of them are actually getting any real glory. In the past, you get my point? W.E.B. Du Bois, these dudes is dealing with the white man directly. You follow? They getting higher education, money, tuitions, all kind of shit. That's why they always over in London, Sylvester Williams, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois. They selling out for some real shit. We selling out for dumb shit. Attention on YouTube. And so black people just got to get real at some point. If Farrakhan ain't actually a North American black person, like I said, y'all got to get real. That ain't nothing against Farrakhan, but we been getting exploited by people from the islands for too long now. Because all them Pan-African niggas that started that Pan-African shit, they come from Trinidad, Jamaica. Is Farrakhan a Jamaican? Because if he is, y'all got a history. Y'all be coming over here. White men already got hold of you. And y'all be coming over here pumping y'all agendas or their agendas on us. Selling us out so you get something for yourself. And so y'all need to start checking up on things like that. If you following a certain movement, is the leader of it black? Meaning a black American or African American. Or is he a Jamaican, a Cuban, or some other shit just in America? Because a lot of them being sent over here on missions. And they dumbing us down. And it's been happening. It's happening right now. It's been happening though. And so, get up on game. It's a deep, deep thing. Now, I thirst. If any of you guys have questions, ask now. I'm about to depart. I'm a bit famished. If you're new here, they call me Big Oos. You gotta say it like that. Big Oos. I'm a 72-year-old grandfather. I keep myself together. I'm sure you're like, you're not 72. I'm older than that. But I don't age. It all has to do with my teachings. I'm the wisest man alive. All my followers and everyone else in life knows this. This is why I just gave you this deep information that you never heard anywhere else. And that's what I do. And a lot of people get jealous. They paint false narratives. He has ego, this or that. I don't have ego because I'm not stepping on anyone's neck. Mad because my shirt is clean. Because you know niggas in the conscious community in the Pan-African movements, they're dusty. So they're like convincing their followers, he has ego, look at his shirt, it's clean. You live by morals, I don't. Lesser things. I think lesser things is cool. So they say I have egos for things like this. But really I'm just a kind soul. Loving solace. I'm a sex symbol. I'm sassy. With a Z. I'm sezzy. Sometimes people like to tease me. They say I'm gay because I'm sexy. I pay no mind. I have sex with a girlfriend because I'm a sex symbol. I'm going to take a snapshot. Oh, wait. Pure beauty! Salami. Big Usia.